Hey, good morning, everybody. It is I, Tony. You know what day it is. If you see my face on Facebook Live, you know it's Wednesday. You know it's New Comic Book Day. And you know that is Superman Son of Kal-El. You know that you can find us at 23 West Main Street on the northwest sector of the downtown Geneva shopping district. And not only is it downtown Geneva, Ohio, it's beautiful, scenic downtown Geneva, Ohio. I'm Tony Capo. This is Robot Zero. It is New Comic Book Day. That's right. It is New Comic Book Day, albeit a very small one. Not a lot of comics out this week. Klaus, what's up, buddy? Not a lot of new books out this week. But we do have some fun stuff that is out, including Carnage #1, the debut of a new host of the Carnage Syndicate. I'll just say that he is like his predecessor, Cletus Cassidy. He too is a serial killer. So the debut of the new host of the Carnage Symbiote. Klaus, what's happening? We've got all the covers. Only some are available if you buy the set of covers. So right now we have 3 covers out here that are really, really cool. We've got a lot of them, so do whatever you have to do. We also have some 1 in 25s and a 1 in 50. There were a total of 5 covers. Not a lot to get to. There was some good independent stuff this week, including a horror comic called Playthings about a creepy clown doll. That was really good. We've got Slumber #1. And then something I'm not 100% familiar with, but there's a band called Colossus. We have a comic about the band, a one-shot comic from Image Comics. We also have Second Prince of Land of the Living Gods. That was a very hot #1 title from Aftershock Comics. We got the second print #1. It was a really good book to read. It was a lot of fun. The art is beautiful. You should definitely check it out. And we're just going to get right into it here. So we have Avengers #54. This is a jumping on spot. This is the Carnage Forever cover there on the left. And then we have these 3 covers for your view. I've got a little bit of a glare there. So there's our main cover right there. Carnage #1 main cover. Variant. This is variant here on the left. I'm trying to get these without glare. I'm sorry. This variant here right in front of us, this is by Dan Panosian. The center variant here is done by Carnage co-creator Mark Bagley. And then this one, I thought was Lee and Hyuk, but I'm not 100% sure. We're going to double check that. But it did not disappoint. So we do have Carnage #1. We have Detective Jonathan Shade. We have a serial killer on the loose known as the Artist. He's trying to solve the mystery of the Artist. Who is this serial killer, and why is he back, and why is he leaving these grisly scenes? So some graphic violence in this book for sure. I'm just trying to find that variant cover artist. It's going to kill me. Then there's Cletus's Clubhouse, where we have the letters page. My goodness. Okay, well, I believe that's Lee and Hyuk. Here we go. Artist Mark Bagley at for instance, Sunny. I'm really not sure, but here we have our variant cover artist. If you see one here, let me know who you think it might be. I know it's not Simone Bianchi. We know it's not Mark Bagley and Delgado. We know it's not Panosian or Ron Lim. Not Leinil Francis Yu. Maybe Paulo Siqueira and Rochelle Rosenberg. Anyways, it's a pretty cool cover. It's a pretty good comic book. There's a new debut of a new symbiote, new host for the Carnage Symbiote. It is a serial killer, so it fits that Cletus Cassidy murderous madman and mayhem, but maybe a little bit more calculated this time. We'll see. I did enjoy it. Again, we have Detective Shade trying to figure out who this serial killer is. This serial killer wants to commune with Carnage. He believes Cletus Cassidy and Carnage are a god. He is praying to them. He wants them to appear. He wants to become one with the symbiote. Does that happen? We'll find out. We have X Lives of Wolverine number 5. We've got Spider-Man 92.bay. That series is almost over and ready to restart in April. We'll have a new Amazing Spider-Man number 1. And that's it for Marvel. That is it. We have Avengers, Carnage, Spider-Man, and X Lives of Wolverine. And then from DC, pretty decent week. We've got Batman Detective Comics, number 1057. We're nearing the end of the Tower 12-part series. We're getting close to the end of that. We've got Catwoman 41, got a couple nice variant covers there. One being International Women's Day variant cover. Nightwing 90 with a cool Nightwing and Flash cover. War for Earth 3, we restocked on this. This is you could read these. There's 2 parts to this. There's a part 1 and a part 2. And then if you really want to get into it, it's a crossover as well. So if you want more to this story and how it affects specific characters in the DC universe, you can read those. Go ahead, right ahead and read those. If not, you can read parts 1 and 2 of the bookends, I like to call them. And it gets a little confusing. So War for Earth 3, number 1, part 1. Okay, there's a difference between number 1 and part 1. So, and there'll be a difference between number 2 and part 2. Part 2 takes place in the Suicide Squad that came out last week. And then to finish all of it, to be the final bookend, the very last part of the story will be issue 2 of War for Earth 3. I hope that makes sense. I don't know why DC did it like that. And they are also doing this with Trial of the Amazons. We had Trial of the Amazons Part 1, Issue 1 come out last week. This is Trial of the Amazons Part 3 in Wonder Woman number 785, and a very nice variant cover there as well. DC always has some of the best artists working on their stuff. We've got Wonder Woman Evolution Part 5 of 8. One of my picks of the week, along with Carnage, is going to be World's Finest number 1 by Mark Waid. We've got some great covers. The artwork is by Dan Mora. This cover is by Dan Mora here. This cover is by, I believe, Jim Lee. And this one is Jason Fabok. And then we have the stunning art germ with a Batgirl and Superwoman cover. Pretty cool stuff there. Batman, Superman. So this is World's Finest. Batman, Superman, World's Finest. Essentially a Batman, Superman comic. And also World's Finest. But anyway, what I will call this comic is excellent. It's written by Mark Waid, a veteran writer, probably one of the foremost experts, if not the foremost experts in Superman and the history of Superman, the creation of the character, its creators, the films. Mark Waid's claim to fame, besides writing a ton of great comics, he has read every single Superman comic to date. He's completely up to date on all things Superman. I've seen the man been asked questions. He has answers for everything. He has a lot of great ideas too. But Superman was something that came to him as a teenager when he was 13 or 14 years old. He went to see the first Superman movie in 1978, and since then has been in love with the character and has, again, become the foremost expert in the United States, if not the world, on the character of Superman. This book is fantastic. It's everything that I remember comics being as a kid. You should definitely, if you want to have fun and you want to read comics, and one written by an expert, not only the writer, but the creator, the artist too. Dan Mora is an excellent artist. If you're familiar with, you see him on a lot of indie titles. How do I say, he's scratched that out. He's worked for that, be able to do that and be successful, to work on a lot of indie publishers' titles. He's worked hard for that. And he's worked hard to be where he is right now. He's also one of the artists behind some of the Klaus Christmas comics. And his cover is probably my favorite, the one there on the left. But we have Poison Ivy's in the story. Metallo's in the story. Batman, Superman, Robin, Lois Lane, Jimmy. It's a classic Superman, Batman story. Batman's very much Batman, Superman very much Superman. But what happens is Metallo shows up, injects Superman with red kryptonite. And not only that, it's a very specific cocktail of red kryptonite, and it causes Superman to transmutate. His form is constantly changing. His senses, his super abilities become hypersensitive. He's driven mad, essentially. He's in constant pain. This is a hard thing to do. Superman, Metallo's found a way, and Batman, being the calm, logical detective type that he is able to take control of the situation. And they do it with a little bit of help from another DC group that is very, very well versed in transmutation. And that's all I'm going to say, because it was such a great moment to turn the page and see this group show up in this book. And again, this is something you can read with your entire family. I highly encourage you reading this with your entire family. It is a super fun comic. I can't say enough nice things about Mark Waid's World's Finest Batman Superman book. Definitely read this. Definitely read this. Tons and tons of fun to read. And then from Image Comics and Top Cow, we've got the Clay People Colossus #1 one shot. Again, I believe this is based on a band, like not the history of the band, but the lore of a band. That they may have a mythos that they have created for themselves. It is based on that, which I think is a pretty cool idea. I'm sorry that I'm not familiar with this band, but it sounds like a really good idea, and if I was a fan, I'd be all over this, to be honest. Jennifer Blood, #6. Land of the Living Gods, #1, second print. This was a hot book when it came out. I can see why. The art is beautiful. It's a cool story set in 3119. We have a young lady who's caring for her sick mother. There's nothing left. The Earth's a total wasteland. But she's able to grow some plants. One of the only people on Earth to be able to do so. It's not easy to grow anything anymore. And she's able to do so, and she's able to grow some herbs that help her mother. The living gods are very much real. She just doesn't know it yet, and they may be after her. Someone's defying these living gods, and it's creating a very dangerous place for her mother, her family, and there's a lot at stake. So I'm going to leave it at that. And she's also an albino. She's also an albino too. That comes into play because there are witches, there are spiritual beings that want her, that want to take her and use her for their own nefarious purposes. And there are a lot of scoundrels out there that want to kidnap her and sell her off to these witches and to these occult groups that will use her for no good. So pretty cool book. It was fun. I'm interested to find out more. I did not get a chance to read issue 2, but maybe you can if that interests you. So issue 1 and issue 2 of Living Gods is out this week. We also have Life Zero #2 from Ablaze Comics. We sold out of #1. #2 is here and ready to be read. We've got Nyx #5. We have Playthings #1, which is a cool horror comic from Black Caravan, which is an imprint of Scout Comics. It's more of their adult, scarier label. We have a divorced couple with a child. The child lives with the mother. The father shows up with his new wife or girlfriend, and they leave their daughter, this new clown toy, which, man, it is creepy AF. And this book, really, you'll see, it is that stereotypical, but it's still super creepy. It does its job. Stereotypical, like, that clown doll is alive and it will murder me. That is very much a thing in this comic. And the artwork matches it. It's got a dark, a lot of, the colors are very dark. Even the perspective of the comic, the panels are very dark. Everything in it. It has like a shot. This cover is a very good indicator of what you're going to see on the inside. But I enjoyed it. I think the artwork very much matches the story. The story was a little simple. It moved pretty quickly. But I am interested to see where it goes. As a issue #1, it did its job, piqued my curiosity, and I want to know more now. We have the Invincible Red Sonja #8. We have Slumber number one. This was, when I first looked through it and I saw the artwork, I was a little hesitant. It's a little cartoony, but the colors are really cool. I think the colors were done really well in this book. And then the art, while I was reading the story, the art totally matches the story. The story is absolutely wild and bonkers. Uh, and there's a lot of adult language, but there's also a very serious tone, too. There's a lot on the line. Life and death is obvious on the line. But let's get back to the premise, the idea behind this book. The idea is that our main character on the cover, if you have a terrible recurring nightmare or characters or something that torture you in your dreams, you can hire her. This is very much like a horror, Monsters Inc. gone wrong, let's say, where instead of becoming friends with the monsters and the monsters learning that laughter causes more energy, in this case, there's no befriending the monsters. We just come into the dreams. We walk through. You walk through a door like in Monsters Inc. And we just murder what's scaring you. Now, within those dreams, there's this other being that knows dreams are being invaded and does not want us from Earth, or not Earth, but like a physical being in this dreamscape. And they call the lady on the cover the Dream Eater, and they want her dead. So now it seems like each one of the people she's gone into their dreams and helped, this being that is after the Dream Eater is now possessing their bodies and making them murder people. So these people are completely innocent. They hire this lady on the cover to go into their dreams, kill whatever is terrorizing them in their dreams. Then this being that's after the Dream Eater, the person that comes into the dreams, takes over that person's body and forces them to murder somebody. So they have all these identical murders done by different people. The police are completely perplexed. They don't know what's going on. What I'm more interested in is now this being that's chasing the Dream Eater. We've got Bunny Mask, trade paperback number one, more horror comics. It's a beautiful day. Pick up one of these books, take it to one of our very many beautiful parks in Ashtabula County, and enjoy the sunlight and enjoy a good book and have a lot of fun today. But we do have a lot of horror comics out. Bunny Mask, Volume 1 from Aftershock, and then we have from Artists and Writers Association, AWA, we have Out, which is... it was towards the end of World War II, and the Nazis know they're losing, so they pull out this secret weapon that they have, this secret being, and it just wreaks havoc. And this, of course, causes, they start to push back and maybe, as a last-ditch effort to win the war. But we also have, the Allies also have something up their sleeve to fight this, not super being. Well, I guess it is. It is kind of a super being, but it's a stereotypical super being that I'm afraid if I tell you what it is, that you may just shuffle it off. You may not pay any attention to it. Come in, read the back blurb, look at the artwork. The artwork is fantastic. Something that rarely happens at our store is we sold 5 copies of number 1, and usually that doesn't mean we're going to sell 5 copies of number 2. We cut our orders for number 2, but all 5 people came back for this entire miniseries. And read the entire thing and enjoyed it greatly. So that in and of itself, from a store owner perspective, tells me that this is a pretty good book. When there's nothing left over for me to read because it's all been taken, I know that's a pretty good book. So pretty cool story, World War II story, horror story. So there we have it. Also this week we have Nezuko from Demon Slayer, Funko Pops. We also have Andre the Giant as Fezzik from The Princess Bride. So now you have Fezzik to go with Wesley and Buttercup, which we have in store right now. I'll show you here in a moment. We also picked up, hold on one second, I gotta see the name of the characters. Super Saiyan Gogeta. Both are, and I'm sorry, and Super Saiyan Son Goku. Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku. And then you get a better look at them right here. We have them on display. You can check them out. They're pretty cool looking statues, pretty cool action poses, and not too bad for $25. We also have Necromance Volume 2 manga out this week. Then we have What's the Furthest Place from Here, number 2, with a 45 RPM record. World's Finest 1 in 25s, a meme on the cover of a comic. It's great. These covers are by Chip Zdarsky, which if you're not reading anything by Chip Zdarsky, I highly suggest you read something by Chip Zdarsky. But pause that and enjoy the memery. We have Carnage 1 in 50. We have a Carnage 1 in 25. A one per store Power Rangers number 17. We restocked on Marvel-verse, Moon Girl, and Devil Dinosaur. And we also got Black Panther, Shuri, Defender of Wakanda, Level 2 Reader. Will Shuri be Black Panther in the next movie? I really hope so. But you've asked, we know some of our customers asking for more anime-related and manga-related material, and we're happy to bring it in. All right, thank you for joining us. It was a smaller than normal new comic book day, but that's because there's 5 Wednesdays this week. This month there are 5 Wednesdays. There are 5 Wednesdays in 1 week, I would probably die and be bankrupt. So 5 Wednesdays this month. This being, we're on our third Wednesday. We got a couple more to go. And then don't forget, today's new comic book day. Don't forget that. Free comic book day is May 7th, the first Saturday in May. We're going to have some artist announcements who will be in the store. Some new, some old, but always great guests, always great artists on Free Comic Book Day at Robot Zero Comic, wherever you are. 5 Wednesdays in a day. That would kill me. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Ben, Mr. Pelkarski, Michael Gross, what is up? Eric Barris, what's happening? Adam, everyone, thank you for joining us. Dave, Klaus, thank you for taking time watching this video, silly video of me ramble on about this week's new comic books. I certainly appreciate you and your time. Wherever you are, visit your local comic book shop. And if you don't have a local comic book shop and you're in the area, please stop on by. We'd love to talk to you and show you what's new. Have a good day, everybody.